Hello, all Hollywood Western wardrobe fans out there. Welcome back to another video. This video is on another John Wayne hat that I had made, especially for me. This hat was made by my buddy Travis over at Ugly Outlaw Hat Company, and there's his logo inside the hat. The hat is John Wayne's The Searcher hat. And The Searchers is my third all-time favorite Western, and I always loved Duke's black hat. Now, I'm going to tell you some stories about this hat. You guys can, this is coming from people that know John Wayne, Luster Bayless, or knew Luster Bayless. I'm going to just kind of give you the stories. You can say it's all BS or you can agree with me, but I believe these stories to be 100% true. So the hat is the same hat that Duke wore in Red River. He wore it in the Searchers. He wore it in the Comancheros. He wore it in North to Alaska. I said the Alamo. And it's also, it ended up as being the True Grit hat. Luster Bayless said, we'll just use this. He popped up the crown, put a different bend in it, kind of just reshaped the brim just a little bit, and it is the same hat. And if you go back and look at the pictures of the original hat, you'll see it has this bound edge on it. It's the same hat. Luster Bayless, who was John Wayne's personal wardrobe guy, is the one that did it. He told the story. Like I said, now if somebody wants to argue, you're not going to convince me. But I'm going to get back into this hat. So in the Searchers, this hat is dirty. It has a silver band on it. The end here is kicked up. And it has the stampede string on it. Now, you really don't see the stampede string on it in the movie except for a couple scenes. Travis asked me if I wanted it. I said most definitely. Because Duke actually, besides the Rio Bravo hat, a lot of his hats always had the stampede string, and he always wore it in the back. He never had it around his chin or anything like that. So, this thing is a work of art. I've told Eric that I could have been somebody that said, listen, done my homework and came up with names, the people that worked on the set, and just gave a big bullshit story saying how my dad's dad, my grandfather, knew somebody on the set, were good friends, Duke gave him the hat. I could have came up with a bullshit story on this hat, and if it would not have had this lining in it, I could rip that out. And the hat band right there is a silver one. And this is actually a silver piece of leather that Travis used. And I'm going to go into the hat bands here in just a second. But you'll notice underneath that, there's also a gross grain hat band. And Duke's has that. Okay? So everything that you're seeing here, minus this silver hat band, is just like Duke's. So I could have came up with a bullshit story and taken off the silver hat band there and said, oh no, this was one of Duke's that he wore in the movie. He was great friends and with my grandfather's friend, and I could have bullshitted a story and gave names and dates, and nobody would be able to argue it because of this hat. Oh my God, guys. Travis spent a lot of time looking at so many different screen grabs. He ended up hating this hat. Said he'd never make it again. Now, I don't know if that's true. Only Travis knows that. So if you guys are wanting one of these, get a hold of Travis over at the Ugly Outlaw Hats because this thing is badass. And he even put the dirt where Duke's had it on there. I mean, this thing looks like it's been traveling through the desert for at least a decade looking for Debbie. So let's get to the hat bands now. Duke So in the movie, Duke has a silver hatband, which closely resembles this metal hatband right here. Now, this is the buckle here on the side. Duke's was not that way, but this is the closest thing that I have to John Wayne's from the Searchers. I believe that hatband is also the one that Dude/Dean Martin in Rio Bravo took off his hat and he tosses it over to John Wayne and says, "I wonder how many drinks I could buy with this." I think it's the same hatband. I could be wrong, but I think it is. So this is the closest thing I've got. This hatband here is actually a Smokey and the Bandit Burt Reynolds hatband. And this really kind of closely resembles John Wayne's, like from El Dorado. That's a good movie to pick out there because it's very close. Now, I think his might have had flowers or something on it, maybe a star, but this is the closest thing that I've got. So in The Searchers, if you watch the movie real close, he has a silver hatband on a lot of the time. But then sometimes he has just a plain leather brown hatband, which I have one of those I can throw on there. And like I said, if I wanted to be one of those guys that tried to scam, hoodwink, whatever you want to call it, just flat out lie, I could have said this hat was John Wayne's. And I guarantee you, had I done that, the John Wayne Foundation would have been calling me, going, "Hey, where did you get that? You know, that's ours, blah, blah." I mean, because they wouldn't have been able to tell. I mean, this thing is a work of art, a work of art. And Travis lives out in California, and so we're like 1,500 miles apart. He made this for me. He goes, "What's your hat size?" I tell him everything about me. He asks me questions. This thing fits my head like a glove. I love this hat. Crazy story. Me and my son were just in Dallas, Texas, a week or so ago, and we went down to the John Wayne exhibit, and I dressed up as John Wayne from The Searchers. I had the blue cavalry bib shirt on, the police suspenders, the Levi's cuffed boots. The only thing I didn't wear was the gun belt. And I had this hat on, and I had one of my buddies, Eric's, wild rags on that matched John Wayne's from The Searchers. And I didn't say anything to anyone. I didn't want to make a deal out of it. I just wore it in. Got a lot of looks walking down to the exhibit. We get into the exhibit, and basically there was like a 15-minute wait for us because when you enter the exhibit, there is a movie that you watch. And then they don't let the next group in until that group is finished watching the little 15-minute movie. So me and my son are out there talking to the people that work for the exhibit. Very nice people. Ladies probably, if I had to guess, in her 60s. And we're talking. And there were some other people around that worked also for the John Wayne exhibit. Not one, I repeat, not one said anything about, "Oh, you're wearing John's outfit from this movie." It just went right over their head. So, really makes me wonder if they really know John Wayne, if they really know his fans, and if they really know anything about his movies. Because that outfit I was wearing, it could have been hanging up in that exhibit. It was that close. So, anyway, this hat I was wearing, and we're, of course, in Fort Worth, Texas, down at the historic stockyards at the John Wayne exhibit. And it was hotter than hell out there. And I'm wearing this black hat. And really, guys, I thought I would just be like sweating profusely wearing that. And I wasn't. Very strange. I've never really owned a black hat before. And I was just expecting it to be like just sweat rolling. I mean, I was sweating, don't get me wrong. It was hot out there. but just not like I thought I would be wearing this hat. Then I started thinking to myself, maybe Duke was onto something, you know, while he was wearing this in a desert. So great hat. There's the Stampede string again. Ugly Outlaw Hats. You are not going to go wrong with Travis. Travis is also an actor. I don't know if you guys caught the Elkhorn series about Teddy Roosevelt. The first season just premiered this year. And Travis is in that series. He is the shopkeeper and friend of Teddy's. And so there's a little shout out to that. I hope you guys get to watch that. It's actually done really well. I enjoyed it. And so every time I talk to, and Travis is also an actor. He's been in other things, but so I just call him Hollywood. Every time he calls me, I'm like, hey, what's going on, Hollywood? Once again, this thing is just beautiful. Just beautiful. I can't say, you know, look, see how it's not like perfectly round right there. It kind of kicks out and stuff. Guys, that's how it was. You got a dent in it right there where that dirt spot is. It's hard to pick up on things in video. There you can kind of see it. Like I said, the kick up over here, that's how John Wayne's hat is. If you guys don't believe me, watch this video, get the searchers on your TV, throw the DVD in it, or if you're really old, throw the VCR cassette in and start watching it and comparing this hat. It is unbelievable. And so honored to have Travis make this for me and set in my John Wayne collection, because it's definitely probably one of the most prized possessions. And considering I've never seen this hat done before. I have seen some companies, their pictures, they say is John Wayne's hat. Guys, no comparison. What is it, Knudsen or something like that? They done one. Guys, that's like comparing Chevrolet to Ferrari. It's just not the same. I guess it's good if that's all you got. I was considering it until Travis came along my way, and I was introduced to Travis by my buddy Eric. So thank you, Eric, for introducing me to Travis. These guys are my friends now, and I love craftsmen, the guys that take time to do something right, not just half-ass it and go, well, there you go, that kind of looks like it. Like I said, besides the silver hat band, Travis was not happy at all with the silver hat band. It's just something that he could come up with. I said, I'll just leave it on there. I think it looks good. But like I said, I can go ahead and put this one on. I've looked and looked for John Wayne's hat bands and just never have found those silver hat bands. And trust me, it's not by the lack of trying. You would just think that somebody out there would go, oh, these are the guys that made them and you can still get them. Or nope, not the case. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video on my John Wayne Searchers hat made by the Ugly Outlaw Hat Company. Check them out. They make, Travis just makes all kinds of cool hats over there. So thank you for watching, and until the next video, talk to you soon. Bye.